live on Metro TV. Time for our conversation about the mining industry in Ghana with the Minerals Commission. And the CEO, Mr. Martin Ayisi, is here with us on the show. Good morning, Martin.
Morning, how are you?
By the special grace of God, I'm doing very well. And I see that you're also very happy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Has it got to do with the Reuters report that says that gold sprints record high Fed sticks 2024 rate cut view, that gold price is at a record high and it's virtually gone through the roof? Is that the source of your excitement?
Yes, that's the source of my excitement. I'll give you about 3-4 reasons. Mm-hmm. One, Randy, and then good morning to you, and then good morning to our listeners and viewers. Look, I was here 2 weeks ago. I couldn't make it last week because I was on official assignment somewhere. Bank of Ghana said 46% of our total receipts last year came from gold. Mm-hmm. The average price of gold last year was just around 1,900. And that's 7.6 billion. A little or 2 billion of that came from small scale, official receipt through the Gold for Air program. If the price of gold was averaging over 2,000 last year, perhaps we would have been doing 9-10 billion. So for me, here's the good news. Nobody can deny that things are not looking too good. Everybody knows. So if your major foreign exchange earner, the price is doing very well, it means that, one, they pay more royalties. Do you understand? Here, because the royalty is based on gross revenue. So if the person is making 5 cedis, now he's making 10 cedis, and he's supposed to pay royalties 10 pesos, now he's paying maybe 10 or 20 or 3 times that. So government, or for that matter, the republic, gets more royalties. That's number one. 2, they get more corporate taxes. They pay more corporate taxes, so we get more taxes. So on the side of government, royalties go up, corporate tax also goes up, or for that matter, income tax. Then what does that mean for Mincom and then the rest of the economy? For us, what it simply means is that projects that are high cost are now profitable. Or as we use the term in industry parlance, marginal mines, okay? Or those that have very low grades, which they couldn't mine 6 months, 1 year ago, can now mine them. So you could as well keep your high grade, mine your low grade now because it's not profitable. Perhaps you can add a fee of the high grade, they call it commingle, and then you are good to go. So quickly, all of a sudden, those that are marginal mines, and if the price should stay like that for even the next quarter, that is good business. So we are a low-cost jurisdiction mining compared to South Africa, okay? So marginal mines have come up. They are also making money now. Other than that, what is just to keep the jobs and barely, operate. That's what they've been doing. But now, low-cost, low-grade projects can come on stream. It's also good news for the new ones that are coming, especially those that are commissioned this year. So if the next year or so it looks like this, then that's very good. But Randy, 2 more things, most importantly. It means that the company now have money to spend on exploration. What does that mean? To extend life of mine. Because you see, when the price of gold goes down, or when the price of a mineral falls, what you normally do is that the first department or the area that suffers a lot is exploration. They slow down exploration and then they focus on the core business. So the big guys like Newmont, AngloGold, Obuasi, and all those things now can now pour money and explore other areas that they have put on hold. So I'm seeing several applications now on exploration. Yes, a lot. And then people are now rushing to do JVs and co. So what it means is that they will now hire more geologists. Geologists tend to suffer when the price of a metal goes down. They are the first always to be, to lay them off. So a lot of them are now recruiting more people. And practically almost every day now we see some adverts. for recruitment and co. So these are the 4 good things for us. We get more revenue, royalties, corporate tax goes up. And then those that have large capital allowances, it means that they'll make more revenue and quickly clear them off. So it is good news for us in these difficult times. Very good news. Unfortunately, cocoa too is also on the rise, but the situation in cocoa is not like mining. The other flip side is that the galamsey people also take advantage. So in a nutshell, it is good news for Ghana. Very good news.
Okay.
Because half of the world's exploration budget goes to gold.
Half?
Yes. If you look at the data, anything close to between $8 and $10 billion is spent on exploration worldwide. Half of it goes to gold. That is why if you are very prospective for gold, you get a lot of...
and what's Ghana's share of that?
Oh, very small. Very, very, very small. But we are within top 5 in Africa when it comes to exploration spend. Mali...
But we are the number 1?
We are the number 1 biggest producer. But when it comes to cost of exploration,
yes,
some 3 countries are doing better than us.
That their cost is lower?
Yes. Because you see, exploration is risky. So you have to remove all the bottlenecks, all the challenges that makes it, riskier. So, for example, close to about a quarter of the exploration cost in Ghana here includes a lot of charges on VAT. I think government is going to work on that. You understand? So it means that it's easier to explore in Mali, all things being equal, and Ivory Coast than in Ghana. But be that it may, we are still within the top 5. So the countries that attract exploration spend in Africa, if you look at that small percentage that Africa controls, is Ivory Coast now, Mali, Ivory Coast, Mali, DRC, Ghana. In the last 3, 4, 5 years, Burkina Faso used to be number 1. Then their situation has, taken them out. You can't go to the bush.
Okay, so I got this question 2 weeks ago, but I saw it after we had left. And it says that Dr. Abe.
Dr. Abe?
Yes.
The famous economist, or that one is gone?
The person is addressing me.
Okay. And Maxim, whether you know the famous Dr. Abe?
Yes.
Economic
Dr.
recovery.
Joe Abe.
Yes, the famous...
yes, Dr. Joe Abe.
Economic recovery.
Yes, he's passed on.
Yeah, he's passed on.
Yes.
So that's not the one.
No, so this person is addressing me.
Okay. And his name?
I am Dr. Abe.
Oh, okay. But are you called Joe?
No.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm Randy.
Uh-huh.
Joe was my uncle.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it says that I have a group who are interested in partnering a local group that has a mining concession in Ghana.
Yes.
But they want something official stating that floating mining is allowed. That is, building a retaining pond or dam to process the gold. Is there anything out there that I can send to them? Can you find out from the CEO of the Minerals Commission for me?
Everything is available.
Okay, so
he can take my email and send me an email. We'll communicate.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the key thing is that floating mining is allowed.
I know what he's talking about.
It says building a retaining pond or dam to process the gold.
A retaining pond
or dam to process the gold.
Yes, but I need to get more information from him. Okay. So I'm happy he sent you a WhatsApp message. So I'll give you my official email
to send to him.
You send it to him, and then we can communicate.
All right. Okay. Is it an email that you would like to make public? Your official email. Is this something you'd want to make public?
Yes, it's already on our website.
Okay.
So Martin.Ayisi. I think let me write it for you.
Yes, Martin. Ayisi
at mincom.gov.gh.
So Mincom has a double M at the end?
No.
One M.
MINCOM.
Okay.
.gov.gh. So this is my official email.
.gov.gh.
Yes. This is official.
Okay.
Not my private email.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So, for those of you watching us, you have any official question, you have any request, you have any clarification that you're seeking, martin.ayisi@mincom, mincom.gov.gh. That is the official email of the CEO. And so you don't have to wait for a Thursday. You can send your questions and all the requests that you have to him. Please, this is official. Let it be restricted to his work. We don't want a situation of people trying to go and raise funds and all those things. Please, kindly restrict it to official stuff. Okay. So, we have been speaking about local content and all the great things and all that. But one of the issues that has also come up strongly has to do with also the participation of the Ghanaian labor force in the mining industry. We've spoken about how Ghanaians can, from a corporate point of view, be a part or an integral part of the mining industry. Now, can we look at the labor force, the skill sets required? I think I've had this conversation with you before where I say that in some other jurisdictions, you can actually go on a website, and the website details, in America, for example, it details all professions, the vacancies available, how much those professions pay, those that are dying out, the emerging ones, the ones that need the kind of skills that are required for those particular sectors. And a lot of students and parents rely on this information to even make choices with respect to the kind of disciplines that they want their children to pursue and all that. So issues of AI and all those things have been on these sites like 10 years ago. You know, in the mining industry, what are the kind of skill sets that are required? And do we have them?
Okay.
How do we become an integral part, especially when you keep amending and restricting things to Ghanaians? There's also the issue of the element of capacity.
Okay, Randy, thank you so much. I like this American thing you talked about. I think we are about starting that now.
Okay.
There's a unit that is preparing that. Other than that,
in your outfit.
Yes. Other than that, what you are telling me is what I'm doing now.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not everybody who have time to listen to us. A lot of Ghanaians are also at work. So very soon we'll put the summary of all these things on our website. The kind of skill sets, middle level, high level, and then if you like down there that are required. We will do that. It's important. And then we'll do that together with these regular appearances on your show. Ronnie, let me say this. When it comes to the skills, let me make this very clear. We are one of the best sought after when it comes to skills in the world.
Really?
Yeah, not just Africa, but in the world. It is just over a century of mining. And I would like to take this opportunity to praise good old Sam Jonah because he laid the foundation. He spent a lot of time training Ghanaians. So second, third generation, they are the one running the mines now. Randy, unlike, maybe take out South Africa, unlike other countries in Africa, practically almost all the mines now are run by Ghanaians. So you take Iduaprim. Iduaprim is one of the mines that is owned by Anglo Ashanti. It's just by Takwa. They have about 740 workers. From MD to the last person on their payroll, as perhaps the lowest grade, is Ghanaian run mine. 10, 15 years ago, even 10 years ago, you will not see this. At best, you just see one senior Ghanaian official, etc. Many of the MDs now are Ghanaians. And you see all these weird conglomerates for mining, when they come to Africa and they are looking for Africans to employ, the first place they raid is Ghana. And you go to Western Australia, there are several Ghanaians who are working there. So let me repeat, our mining engineers are some of the finest in the world. I'm not talking about Africa. We have some of the finest mining engineers in the world in Africa. And a little over 30 or so countries where mining is taking place, you find Ghanaians working there. Whether it's Burkina Faso, whether it's in Guinea, Mali, Senegal, I don't know how they manage their language. Take one of the, if you like, biggest gold mines in the world. Currently, the biggest gold mine in Africa is Kibali.
Where?
It's in DRC, but it's a matter of time Newmont will close up. And there's another huge mine in Mauritania. The guy who ran the processing plant is a Ghanaian. So we are all over the place. Even Eritrea, you find Ghanaians there. Sudan, everywhere. Australia, Canada, US. And can I tell you this? The managing director of Newmont, Peru, is Ghanaian.
Oh.
Yes. And until recently, the business development manager, Newmont, North American operation was Ghanaian. One Mr. Entry. So we are all over the place. And you go to many of the mining schools too in the world, Ghanaians dominate the postgraduate program. So I'm told one of the best mining engineering schools in the world is Queen's University in Canada. We have one student there learning. He's about to go and work underground. And he tells me out of the 24 engineers enrolled for the master's program, 19 are Ghanaians. So they go from the other mines. So by and large, that is it. So what are the skill sets that we need to work in the mines? One day I'll break them into two. We have the technical skills, the very technical skills. That's where we have a problem. And that's where Zimbabwe beat us. Because they started this apprenticeship program under, what do you call it, Mugabe. So for example, you finish SS, or even after GSS, you go and work for, let's say, Sandvik, and then they'll take you through training. So 4 or 5 years, and then you do the certifications. And they are the ones that work in the mechanical workshops and all those technical skills. That place we do very badly. Last week I think I was at Asempa or so, and I was quite happy the gentleman was talking about TVET and co. We're doing poorly about that. So I'll speak more as to that area and what we need to do. Other than that, what are the skills required? Mainly the bottom line is engineering. Engineering, let me repeat. So what are the various categories of engineering? I'll start from, if you like, the basic ones first. So mining engineering, mineral engineering. Now, what is becoming very important, because our time, people were discouraging that they say they don't get any jobs unless you want to work at Tema Oil Refinery. Chemical engineering, because we are beginning to see a lot of refineries coming up now. So those who are studying chemical engineering, there are a lot of prospects for them. It's done only at KNUST. Now UMAT has started. So that's also a very important course now in the future. You were just asking me that in the US, they look at all those things. So very soon, chemical engineering will become very prospective because we need them now that we are starting a lot of refineries. So Ghana Manganese is about starting refining this year. They will create about 360 jobs. They will need a lot of chemical engineers. They also need metallurgists, metallurgical engineering. They can work at the lab, they can work at the processing plant, and even tailings. Then, an area that is hot cake now is geotech. Geotechnical engineering. Okay? So the dams, you know, everything has to do with engineering there. The slopes, they dig pits, you have to make sure that things are stable. So how do you get into geotech? You can read geological engineering, or you can study civil engineering. In fact, they are the best geotech people. Apart from that too, you can even, as a mining engineer, you can also train to become geotech person. Okay? So the basic engineering programs are mining engineering, mineral engineering, metallurgical, chemical engineering, geomatics. They take them because they work as mine surveyors.
I want to write them down. So
yes, so mining engineering, which is, they'll tell you that they learn everything. Like the way the lawyers behave.
So there's mining engineering.
Yes.
There is
mineral engineering.
Well,
the mineral engineers.
I'll come and ask you about the difference.
The mineral engineers tend to train and work at the processing plant.
Okay.
Yes.
So
or the lab.
Chemical engineering.
Mining
Mining
engineering.
engineering, mineral engineering.
Yes.
And then what else?
Geological engineering.
Geological engineering.
They may train as geotech.
Okay.
Geomatics.
Geomatics.
Yes.
That's different from.
Yes, geomatics engineering.
It's different from.
Surveying. They tend to work as mine surveyors.
So that's different from geological engineering.
That's totally different.
Okay.
So geomatics engineering.
Yes.
More often than not, they work as the mine surveyors because the mine needs surveyors.
Okay. So
metallurgical engineering.
Metallurgical. Okay.
And then what when we're in school, if you're going to study, they laugh at you. They call it book mufita. Advanced fitter, mechanical engineering. A very critical skill in the mining industry, mechanical engineering. I see UMAT has introduced, I think recently, health and safety engineering. So why am I saying this? Because just yesterday I saw an advert by Atlantic Lithium looking for occupational and health and safety engineer. Clearly, those who have studied health and safety engineering, those are the areas they will have to go. Okay, so health and safety engineering, mining engineering, mineral engineering, mechanical engineering, metallurgical engineering, chemical engineering, geological engineering.
What about electrical?
Electrical, yes. Electrical engineering, because we also have inspectors electrical. There's also another area that they also look at. Then, have I mentioned geomatics? Geomatics engineering.
Yeah, it's a geometric engineering.
Yeah, and then health and safety.
So what we have here, we have chemical engineering. We have mining engineering, mineral engineering, geotechnical engineering, geometric.
Typically, you don't have geotechnical engineering.
Okay.
It's either the mining engineer who
becomes a geotech
person, or they will hire civil engineers.
Okay.
Or they will hire a geological engineer.
Okay. So then we have geometric.
Geomatics
engineering.
Geomatics.
Then we have mechanical.
Fitter.
Then we have health and safety engineering. Which is new.
Yeah, it's new. Yeah.
Then electrical engineering.
Yes, then you also have
civil engineering.
Yes, civil engineering. Civil engineering, who normally would train as geotech. But I'll add two more things. F science.
Health science.
F science.
EARTH.
To be honest with you, that's geology.
Okay.
It's like our time at Legon, we used to say archival studies. Now they call themselves information science.
Yes.
So F science. So F science Legon.
Yes.
You train as a geologist. So normally those who work as geologists are those who have studied F science, that's geology, or those who have read geological engineering, either at UMAT or Tech. And then you train them. So those who have read geological engineering can be trained as geologists, or they can get a job and train as geotech. And they work as
are all these programs, do all of this start from the bachelor's level, or some of them are?
Some of them used to be diploma. For example, UMAT used to, the then School of Mine, they used to have diploma in mine surveying. A colleague of mine read it when we left Legon, I think 2-3 years. He became a chief mine surveyor, later worked internationally. He's such a big man now. Then they used to have diploma in mining engineering. I don't think those ones are running.
But are all these programs run in Ghana?
Yes, all of them.
Ghana.
Of them are run in Ghana. Legon has the F science. They are quite restricted. Then I think KNUSC has practically all of them. UMAT also has them, because UMAT is a specialized university for mining. Randy, there are some other areas I also need to mention, which are very critical. Okay. So, for example, we also need people who have read chemistry.
Chemistry?
Yes. They work at the lab. Okay? They can work at the lab. And in fact, so you can add that to it, and F science. But Randy, let me say something. And that's what people want. I want people to listen carefully. I started by reading geography, political science, and philosophy, and later switched into law. Okay? And then specialized in petroleum mining. That's it. Now,
I mean petroleum mining law.
yes,
Okay.
and that's my specialty. That's what I've been eating, drinking for the past 20 years. Okay, that is it. So you can read civil engineering and do a master's in mining engineering.
Right.
In fact, any of the engineering I've listed there, you can study the masters in mining engineering, and they tend to be better. So there's one guy at our place, for instance. He read chemistry at UCC. Later on, he did a top-up in metallurgical engineering, just 2-3 years. So he's now an inspector metallurgy. So he's in charge of the processing plant. So he can do that.
So the mining-related engineering becomes like a second-order activity.
Yes, but
so you are grounded.
Yes. In fact, what we are doing right now is that I have introduced a system where we want people to be able to multitask, and they tend to be better. So, for instance, there's a lady who read geomatics engineering, okay, at KNUST. Then she worked in Asanko for about 2-3 years as a mine surveyor. Then joined us in our survey department. She has scholarships. She's now doing mining engineering. So when she comes back, she'll go to the inspectorate division and she'll become an inspector, an inspector for mining. But of course, he has a lot of surveying background too. So that's an add-on skill. You understand that? So if your son gets mechanical engineering and you are worried he or she didn't get mining engineering, you don't have to be worried. You can, the person can go and do the mechanical engineering, work like 2-3 years, or after some years, and then do a top-up in mining engineering, and they tend to be better. I'll give you some examples. For instance, the executive vice president of Goldfields, West Africa, is Ghanaian. I mean, I'm talking about the boss of the Takwa and our boss of Goldfields, one Joshua Mutoti. Originally, he trained as a mechanical engineer. Okay? And these were the people who were picked up by the great Sam Jonah, the venerable Sam Jonah, and trained them. Later on, he did a top-up, did a master's in mining engineering, and then went through all the certification. So these are the basic courses. Now, Randy, let me add this. The practice has changed now because of this law. I gave you a copy about 2 sessions ago.
LI 2431.
Yes. Now, and I will say this clearly. In fact, I met the Minister of Education. I told him that since our time, when we left Legon 94, in those days, even Ismail Yamson used to be the boss of Unilever, Ghana Employers Association. They used to say, the graduates that are coming out this year, and people still say that they have to spend money and retrade them again. So, maybe
curiously,
universities producing more idle hands.
Center spread, today's graphic.
Yes, because we have refused to take engineering. No, we are not taking engineering seriously. So, Randy, if you ask me, I'll prefer my son to go to a technical school after SSS or high school to go and do, let's say, 2-3 years and get HND, because I know, and these are the kind of things Ghanaians need to hear. Okay? I don't mind taking my son to, let's say, Tema Technical Institute or Takoradi Technical Institute after high school to go and do a 3-year technical program. I'll get him a job at the mine because he's employable. But if I throw that question to a lot of Ghanaians and they will say, let him go to the university and read maybe sociology or history or information science. That is the kind of thing they are talking about here. Okay?
But is it not also because for most of these technical programs, if you do not have the science and technical background at a secondary school, you don't qualify to be admitted?
It is not true. Let me say you this. In fact, let me be clear. Some time ago, the Minister for Education.
Yes. Dr.
Yes, he made a statement that you don't need to read science to become an engineer. And I heard somebody condemning him.
In Ghana. In Ghana.
No, everywhere in the world.
No, I'm speaking about Ghana. Because
I'll come to
everywhere
that.
else in the world, I know.
In fact, I even have the way we select people to read certain courses. Because Legon, our time, Legon, if you don't read physics, chemistry, mathematics.
Yes.
Randy, if we spend 3 months on this skill sets thing.
Yes.
People will sleep
No, it's
very
very
well in
important.
Ghana.
Yes,
Very
very
important.
important. Yes.
And I'll devote a lot of time on this thing.
Yes.
Because people are either ignorant or they are being misled, and a lot of people are deceiving people. Our time, they will tell you that if you don't do A-level mathematics, because I went through the old system, they will not, Legon will not admit you to do computer science.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so those who were studying computer science, I'm talking at 91, 94, I don't know whether they have changed their behavior, because sometimes our professors are also part of the problem. And I always, when I see them, I argue with them. So 91, 94, I was in Lagos 91, 94. And we're told that for you to read computer science, you need at least A-level mathematics.
Yes.
So either you have read physics, chemistry, mathematics, or you should have done, let's say, geog, econs, mathematics. At least you should have done A-level mathematics.
Yes.
Only for me to learn later on that 3 A-levels can let you read computer science at any British university.
Yes.
Why?
But it's,
So
it's still
no,
still
it
the
is,
case.
it is, but that is wrong.
Yes.
That is
I
wrong.
agree with you.
Because I have an IT guy right now
yes.
who runs the hardware and everything.
Yes.
He didn't read computer science.
Yes.
The guy is just good. They came to do some servicing of some equipment for us. And then the head of IT says that we need to grab that guy. Okay? He has not got a first degree in computer science.
Yes.
So why are we doing that? Later on, I sat with some of the professors, so we need to restrict. Now, computer science, who wants to go and read computer science? People are now interested in cybersecurity and all those things.
But that's the problem.
No, but that was wrong.
Yeah, no, it is
You
still.
see, so if somebody has, for example, if somebody has a first degree in what do you call it? No, he has A levels. Let's say economics, geography, and even arts. Okay, but he's good technically. Okay, if you want to read computer science, he should be allowed.
So you see,
Okay.
in Ghana, Martin, my kid sister, she did general arts at the Girls.
But she can end up as a medical doctor in the US. Do you know that?
General arts at the Girls.
Yes.
Psychology and economics at the University of Ghana, Legon.
Yes.
In America, she wrote the prerequisites and she had to choose between medicine and PharmD, doctorate in medicine.
Yes.
And she chose to do the doctorate in pharmacy and medicine.
Yes.
And she chose to do the doctorate in pharmacy. She's been a doctor of pharmacy the last 12 years, my kid sister. Now, in Ghana, under no circumstance will a person who read general arts and read psychology and economics at the university, first degree, be accepted to read pharmacy.
So it tells me, I say this everywhere, and some of my colleagues have PhDs and they are teaching at the university. Some of them are even associate profs now. And by virtue of the kind of work I do and my position, we have a close collaboration with the universities. So I always argue with some of the professors that they are also part of the problem. Okay? And then they should also open the system to now some of them are doing it. So you see, sometimes it also depends on the person who is running the show. Because Randy, when we got to law school and the judges were teaching us, I understood the law differently. I was taught civil procedure by one of the greatest lawyers in the history of this country, the Venerable Mr. Kwame Tete. I think he's over 80 years plus now. He was my father's classmate at high school. And you can see that they bring the law to you. I was fortunate to be taught criminal law by the Director of Public Prosecution. Do you understand that? Yeah. In other jurisdictions, look, Oxford just introduced Masters in Public Policy not long ago. It's being funded by one billionaire. And they have what they call professor of practice, or people, they bring people from all over the world. I think the former Chief Justice, when she left office, okay, she went and taught them all those things. So some universities have started. Some faculties have started, but some of them are still stuck in the old school. And here I will single out a praise for the Dean of the Faculty of Law of the University of Ghana. You can see that he's doing things differently. I'm talking about Professor Tuguba.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing things differently.
I mean, the kind of
you understand
MA and LLM programs that they've introduced.
And then the attitude of some of our professors and lecturers is also responsible for why our universities are broke. Because when you treat students badly, and they become CEOs and big men and all those things, you don't expect to set up. Look, I mean, Harvard, perhaps the endowment fund is even bigger than our national budget or whatever. Yes, it's billionaires that contribute to do all those things. But then you have lecturers and universities who take people through pain. How do you ask people to contribute to, to create an endowment fund? And that's how they fund research. Okay? I have one guy who read metallurgical engineering at UMatt. He had first class. Came to do service at National Minerals Commission. He's in our Bibiani office. Then he came to tell me that he has got full scholarship 2 years. 2 years, full scholarship in Australia. So we allow him to go. He went this January. He's bonded for 2 years to go and do Masters in Metallurgical Engineering. Do you know why we permitted him? One, because we don't lose anything. Two, he's going to do research on critical minerals, lithium.
Wow.
Okay, for 2 years. So he'll be back next year, December. I look at the people who are funding the scholarship. It is from industry, something. Okay? I was fortunate to do natural resources law in Canada. A Better Law Foundation funded it. So why can't we have Legon Law Foundation? Okay? But when people go through the kind of hell some of our lecturers take us through, you don't expect them to fund it. You understand? And so I think some of our lecturers are, and then, so it's all about leadership. I don't want to brand and say, because I went to Legon, I did a master's there too. So I don't want to say the university as a whole. But then you look at individual faculties, individual units, individual school, and then you see the. So I ask myself, what Professor Tukuba is doing, the changes he's bringing to Legon, the Faculty of Law, the way he's reaching out, and people are contributing, trying to build a new faculty. How come that this didn't happen 20 years ago? It means that those who were running affairs there had a certain character and attitude.
Okay. So you have a major.
This will change their behavior.
You have a major point there, but can we also look at, say, the bigger picture? You know, the way you spoke about this. Somebody finishes SHS, and then on the basis of your experience and where you sit, you are advising, you are providing information and advising that, look, these are career opportunities and options.
Yes.
People perhaps don't know because, like I said, this American database, I got to know about it because on my MBA program, there's some research I needed to do. And so that's how I came across that website, you know. Now, somebody goes to SSS. Your recommendation is that, look, after SHS,
go to Takrady Technical
University. You can go to the Takrady
rather than go and do sociology
Technical University and then go and do this.
Yes.
However, you'll find out that if this person studied, say, general arts, there is no pathway to go and pursue that technical or science program because that is how we have structured it. Elsewhere, the person might have to go through prerequisites. If they are able to show during the prerequisites, then they go on the program.
Yes.
But here, that pathway is completely blocked.
It's blocked.
And I ask myself, is it that we are more sensible than those other jurisdictions or what?
No, it is just that the person running the show himself doesn't know what he's talking about. And sometimes, Randy, you know what is very painful? Some of our professors went to some of the finest universities in the world, the so-called Ivy League school. They go there and they come back and they do things differently. They are still stuck in the old school. You understand? I was shocked when I realized that you don't need A-level mathematics to study computer science. But we were taking through that, and they stubbornly stuck to it. So that if somebody has, let's say, A in economics, I'm still using the old system, A in maybe history, but he's just computer savvy. Okay, why don't you allow him to pursue it? You see, here am I, and that's why I'm also saying that you can also switch. So, for instance, if you look at Minerals Commission, the district offices are headed by mining engineers. The deputy is a geologist. Okay, even you can read geology and read masters mining engineering. So, if your son is not giving mining engineer or mineral engineering, he's giving geological engineering. He can go and study it. Geological engineering, you can get a job at. These are the kind of things a geological engineer can do. At the mine, you could be trained, along the path of becoming a geotech engineer, or you could be trained as a geologist. Okay? Or geological engineering first degree, you can do a master's in mining engineering.
Right.
Okay? So some of our people who have geological engineering first degree, they are pursuing masters in mining engineering. One or two of our young geologists, like just this morning, one of my geologists says he has got a master's degree mining engineering in Australia. Scholarship, partial. We will pay for him to go and come. I mean, when he comes, he's so fine because you see, he has a geological engineering background, not too much experience in mineral exploration. But if he goes to do this 2-year program and comes back, automatically you become a district officer. And he'll be so good. You understand that? So, for now, these are the skill sets. So let me underscore how engineering is everything to the growth of this country. Now let me go back to that statement that the Minister for Education made and said that you don't need to be a science student to become an engineer. And then there was a condemnation by a very ignorant person. Okay? So I'll give you an example, and I have a real life story at Minerals Commission. So I have an inspector mechanical in charge of machine, because if you go to the plant site, everything is machine. Okay? So we need mechanical engineers who work at inspectors, machine. You know, when they are going to the mine for inspection, like if they leave today, they go as a group. So the metallurgist, the electrical engineer, because you'll be looking at the electrical installations, okay? The mining engineer who was trained in ventilation, okay? Even you can read health and safety engineering and then be trained along the lines of ventilation, because we have a lot of underground mines now. Do you understand that? And this guy, you know something? After high school, he was just running around a fitting shop in his neighborhood. You know, some of us are born and bred in Accra, Newtown, so we understand this very well. He's just good with his hands. Okay? Then he was employed at a mechanical workshop. Okay? Mechanical. Next week, I'll spend more time on the low level, how you can also grow. At, I think, Pesos, you know. Then he was working there. So he's at almost all the mines have a mechanical workshop where they do a lot of mechanical stuff. Okay, then with time he went to Poly and did the HND certification first, because they will not take him straight to the HND, but his 2-3 years basic, you know, experience at the mine, because when you send your CV, you see they took him for the certificate. So he did that, and he did very well because it's practical. Then they used to call it Poly. Then he went and did the HND. Do you understand that? So he has certification. They upgraded him to HND. He was still working at the mine. After that, he took that to the university to go and do mechanical engineering, top of his class. He's now, and then he worked at one of the mines, became even the chief mechanical engineer. I think later he even went to Temalu, became the person in charge. Then he joined us. He's now one of our inspector mechanic, and he's so good. The day he sent his CV, within 24 hours, the chief inspector of mines hired him. He said, "This is the kind of person we need." Okay, but he didn't do science at A levels. He didn't do science at SSS.
Yeah, but
just by running around. Yes, so I'm responding and supporting the Minister for Education's statement that you don't need to read science to become an engineer. So our little sister or brother who has finished SSS, and then he's just taking a Tema Technica or Takwadi Technical Institute to do this certificate course. It's employable at the mine, at the mechanical workshop. 2-3 years experience, Poly can admit him to do the HND. Then after that, he will end up at UST and get first class in mechanical engineering. Anytime he applies for a job with you who read SSS A-level science, and then you went straight to KUST. Anytime, Randy, let me tell you this. Those who went to Poly and did this certificate and then did this mechanical thing, and then later ended up with a degree at the university. Anytime they submit their CV with those who go straight from SSS, okay, to university, I'm not saying that should not happen, and they present it. The mining companies hire the guy from that background. In fact, we even hire that person because you see the guy is so good. So this guy didn't do science at SS. So what are we talking about?
So this is the example that must influence the kind of changes that we need to have.
And that's what we are doing.
Because you see, my point is that it's not enough for the education minister, for example, to just say that you don't need science to do engineering. The reality is that
Randy, he said that in context.
yes, I can understand.
He said, you know, your sister's case is an example.
I can understand him.
Our students going to who has become a doctor.
I can understand him.
So he's saying you put that in context,
especially for somebody who's come from the educational system in America.
Yes,
I can understand the statement.
And a village guy from Kuntansi.
My point is that for us, when we did A level, those who did those who were in arts and business,
they were laughing at you.
There was no way we could switch to science.
Because
those who were in science.
No, hang on, Randy. Yes. Hang on. Because the counselors are professors, yes. Those who design the curriculum,
yes.
Condition the state of mind that way.
Yes, but those who did science,
wrong, and they are still doing it.
Yeah, those who did science could switch. With the SSS people, same thing. Those who did general arts and business, you will not be allowed to switch to science at tertiary. But those who read science can switch.
Yes.
And that is the fundamental thing that must change. That there should be the opportunity for you to go through prerequisites. If you demonstrate, then you're accepted to do it. But how we have structured our thing is that once you go through the arts or business at the secondary school level, the science place, as far as Ghana is concerned, anything science technology is close to you.
So let me wrap up today on this. So for example, let me tell you this. Because at the mines, we don't use degrees. We are interested in certification. That's why I give you that document. So you can have somebody, and you see, that is where South Africa, Australia, they call it apprenticeship system. That's where South Africa, Australia, and Zimbabwe beat us. If you take out the Australians, okay, there are 3 countries whose citizens or nationals dominate the mining sector in Australia: South Africans, Zimbabweans, and Ghanaians. The Zimbabweans are so good in apprenticeship. So after GSS, so you have a company like Sandvik, they can take them, okay? So they will just be teaching you, they will take you to the mines, and then you'll be learning. So after 4, 3, 5 years, you take the certification. Randy, they are the ones that come here and then they pay them the 200,000, 300,000, because I see all those things. They call them, let me put it this way, they call them trade school. I said I'm a Newtown guy. I don't know whether it's still there. ATTC. ATTC. So I'm saying that you can finish GSS.
Their lights were disconnected for 4 months.
Yes, so you can finish GSS, go to ATTC, and end up with a degree in mechanical engineering.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Our professors will hear none of that. So it is difficult for them to sit down as a council and effect this change. So when a particular dean or an individual gets the chance, then it's making those changes. So look at the current vice chancellor of UMaT. Okay? You can read, let's say, a non-mining engineering course at first degree. They have introduced what they call postgraduate diploma in mining engineering.
Right.
So let's say you can read F-Science. Okay? F-Science at Legon. Or the one at UDS. Work for some time. Maybe you're a geologist for 3-4 years. They should be able to admit you to do postgraduate diploma 1 year in mining engineering. Okay? Then after that, that gives you foundation for you to do the masters in mining engineering. They even tend to be better mining engineers than those who read mining engineering. So UMaT, for example, they have introduced, UMaT stands out because they have introduced all kinds of arrangements and courses that makes you to switch, you know, and then move on. Because you see, it is tailored to suit the mind. And let me wrap up and say this. In the past, you can do diploma in mining engineering. Then Takwa School of Mines, okay? Then when you finish, Randy, before you become a manager of a mine, we need to certify you.
Yes. So
you have to do this. You have to test, you know, blast man, foreman, mine captain, and go all the way and become a mine manager. So you can have somebody who may even do a first degree in mining engineering, masters, go to the best mining engineering schools in the world, Curtin, University of Western Australia, Colorado, whatever. Okay? If he even has up to mine captain, he can never be a manager of the mine. Who has a guy who has a diploma, because he has a mine manager certificate, he will run the mine for you. Okay? So the next 2-3 segments, I'll spend a lot of time on the technical skills. That's what the minds need.
Okay.
The good thing about our university engineering program is that because of this law, first year it's not mandatory.
LI 240.
Yes, 240, and that's 2020. So when you finish first year, it's mandatory, and we have the list. So Asanko, Newmont, Ahafo, Newmont, Achim, whatever. First year, that long vac, you go and work in the mine. They have to take you. Those days, my time, for example, you have to finish mining engineering and even service, you have to know somebody. Now it's no more. Newmont took almost about 100 national service personnel, the various engineering groups. Okay? After that, they may take perhaps half for the graduate training program, another 2 years. Then about 20 of that will go on and work at Ahafo North, which will be ready next year. The rest will take them as inspectors. Cardinal will take them. Azuma will take them. So by this now, because of this law, anybody who finishes mining engineering, by the time you finish his BSc, he's employable. Because you see, 3 months at the mine, first year, second year, third year, and you can change. Sometimes if you are good and Newmont likes you, they'll tell you come back. So some people go there consistently. So by the time you finish his first degree, he has, if you like, anything between 6 months, 1 year, mining exposure. Basic. Okay, and they work. It's not as if they send you like an orderly. You work properly. So when you finish, you do national service. Okay? So that's like 1.5 years. If you're lucky, sometimes, 2 years. So by the time a mining engineer will be finishing national service, he has anything between 1.5 or 2 years solid mine experience. Okay? Now that prices are high, a lot of them are heading to Western Australia. They take them a lot. Okay? So our mining engineers in particular, by the time they finish their degree, they're employable.
All right. Okay. So we'll continue next week. The
universities, they should change their... They will not change. They will not change. It's individual professors and deans who introduce courses.
Okay.
But for a whole council to sit down and you see the person who went first degree, masters and PhD, he doesn't see why you should be admitting somebody. I mean, if you ask me, is it not possible that somebody who finished GSS and has gone to Poly and has gone this TT thing, okay, and then they will admit him at the university and do a top up for him to do a degree? Do you know the only university that do that? UMass.
Okay, so interestingly, it will interest you to know that there are many foreign universities that are accredited to either have learning centers or do their degrees from Ghana that have roots like what you have described. Yet, Ghanaian universities themselves do not have.
They will not allow you.
Okay, so that's how sensible we are.
They will not allow you.
Anyway, so we'll continue. We'll continue next week. Very interesting. And so please make a date next Thursday. We'll continue with it.